Hi, Mario. Welcome to the Impact Revolution channel. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming. How are you doing?
Hi, Josie. Thank you a lot for you for inviting me to spend this time with you and to share some ideas and explore about AGI.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Mario, is a custom for us that before we start with the most professional and more business related questions, to ask you a couple of personal questions so the audience knows you a bit better. Is that okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So, Mario, the first question that I would like to ask you is if you could wake up tomorrow anywhere in the world, what it would be and why?
Okay. Well, I think that the best response for that question is that every day when I wake up,
Uh-huh.
I'm here in the Spanish Pyrenees in the north of
Yes.
the country, and
Mhm.
it's the best place I can imagine to wake up every day.
All right.
So
So you are
my
lucky.
dreams are true. Come true every day when I open the window in the morning
Uh-huh.
and I see the forest
I
just
want a
behind.
picture. I want a picture. We will talk.
Sure,
We have talked already about that, so I want a picture.
sure,
Okay, cool.
sure.
Now, if you know that you are an expert in neuroscience and you are doing this AI with the mindset and all that, I was wondering if I ask you, Mario, what was your happiest moment in your life so far? What will you say is what is the memory that comes to your mind first?
It's very interesting because I have worked a lot about happiness, and
Imagine.
the most intense experience I have had along my life was here in the Pyrenees. One day, seated in a summit, just observing the valley.
Uh-huh.
Everything was calm, and it was an incredible day. And I had a very spiritual experience
Uh-huh.
connecting with my environment, with the nature I was in a
Uh-huh.
very special way I had never experienced before.
All
And I,
right.
I think this is the most intense happiness experience I have ever had.
That's really cool. That's really cool. All right. Now, I'm very fan of meditation. I did a meditation retreat as well for 10 days. Vipassana. I don't know you know about this one,
Yeah.
and I got to these stages of mindfulness and meditation moments that you feel like you are floating or you are in another world. I was wondering, how did you get to, or what did you do to reach to that point that you just described, Mario?
Well, I have had a very intense life with a lot of extreme and emotional experiences.
Okay.
That's the reason for me to start making basic research in neuroscience, in affective neuroscience.
Mhm.
And since I was very young, nature has been the best tool I have ever found for trying to find responses to all those challenges that life has thrown me.
Mhm.
And being in nature with a lot of time, I have spent a lot of time in nature, and I have discovered how my mind get connected with the nature and get into a meditative state in a very natural way when you give it enough time for it to connect. So
Mhm.
I have discovered, I have never studied about formal meditation or techniques. I have
Okay.
just discovered them,
By
just
chance.
practicing them.
Uh-huh. That's really cool. All right. Before the call, you mentioned a lot about this nature and how you feel connected with it and how you learn from it, right? What do you mean exactly with that, Mario?
Well, if you think fine, nature is a very special way to find um, challenges.
Okay.
You can find a lot of examples of situations that you can um, compare with life challenges. For example, we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about climbing ferratas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of climbing. If you are climbing a ferrata, you are always tied to a wire since the
Mm,
beginning to the end of the pathway.
yeah.
But every 3 or 4 meters, you have to pass. the secure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know the word in English. You have some point that you have to pass your
Mm-hmm.
secure to the
Uh-huh.
next step. If you don't do that, you are going to stay tight and you
Uh-huh.
cannot go up anymore.
Uh-huh.
You have to go down, solve the question, pass the secure, and go on climbing. So that's a
There is
very
no
very
shortcut.
metaphoric. Yes, it's a very metaphoric approach to the kind of problems we find in our life, in our
Uh-huh.
daily
Uh-huh.
life. You know,
Uh-huh.
you usually have find some situation that if you are not going to solve them effectively, you cannot go on with your life. It's,
Mm-hmm.
so in nature you can find a lot of that metaphoric
Sure,
experiences.
sure. That's interesting. It's like with when you play sports as well, sometimes you get these challenges and then you need to go down to the basics and practice the basics and then you can go and compete, right? It's what
Yes,
it
for
sounds, it
sure.
resonates to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I cannot generalize because I have practiced some different sports, but
Mm-hmm.
in nature you are fighting with yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if you want to go to a summit and you feel that you are not comfortable or you are not strong that day, you have to fight with your own head.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is going to tell you you have to go on or you are going to
Mm-hmm.
stop. You are
Sure.
your own challenge, and
All right.
in that way you are going to find a lot of responses about yourself that can
Mm-hmm.
later be useful to solve another life challenges that come from outside.
All right. Very cool. You know, it's just curiosity. If you are free, if you don't want to answer, I just was wondering, because you talk about challenges, and I can see you had advanced so much in your spiritual journey, and you have these meditation practices and these experiences that are transcendental for what
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I was wondering what was your biggest mental challenge that you had overcome so far, Mario. Is that
Well,
okay?
I have had a lot of them along my life, mainly in the 30 last years. The most hard one to overpass was losing my children when I
Mm,
have some troubles with my ex-wife.
all right.
Um, for some periods of my life, I have lost my children, and
Okay.
that was
I'm
the
sorry to hear
most
that. Mm,
extreme situation I have had
sure.
to find. And it's very interesting because being in the nature, in the wild, talking about not talking thinking about how to solve that intense feelings that you feel when you have
Mm,
lost your children.
sure.
I found a very interesting answer to that situation, and it was love. I had to love myself. I had to love them, and
Hmm.
I had to. I was able to even love that person that was killing them,
Keeping them.
kidnapping them,
Kidnapping. Yeah. All right.
kidnapping them. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So I discovered that love was saved my life and in that situation. So it's very interesting because that kind of experiences you only read in books and philosophy books about that.
It's
But when you
beautiful. Yeah.
experience it in first person, it's very impressive because
Mm.
you know that those answers are very interesting
Uh-huh.
spiritual and philosophical answers, and
Yeah.
that was one of the most intense experiences I had to solve.
All right. Congratulations for that because that's demonstrates the emotional intelligence and the adaptation and the strength, right, that you have and the love you have as well, right?
Yes.
Mario, thanks a lot for sharing that. And I was interested, this question I normally leave it at the end, but because we got to this point already and it's profound, what will be the last message that you will leave to the whole world if you had the chance to write something in the
The last message. Read
uh-huh.
my paper.
I will. I will. I will.
No, um, we were talking about Matrix before starting the interview.
Yes.
I think we can interpret that life, this life, like a kind of matrix, where we are going to find different opportunities to solve challenges and to learn about how we are solving that kind of challenges. So my last message would be live intensely.
I love it. Live intensely. Yeah.
Live with
Why?
passion.
Why did you say? Why do you think that's necessary, or why do you think the world will benefit by living intensely, Mario?
Well, because when you have a lot of experiences, at least you are going to have opportunity to find a lot about yourself. And if you understand most about yourself, for sure you are going to understand more about others. And that's going to help you to better understand other people, to better understand relationships between you and them, between other people among them. And in that way, you're going to find that life is a very interesting
It is. It's
adventure.
very
It's a
fun.
very interesting adventure. I have had very hard experiences, but today, I'm 52. I feel that this is an incredible adventure. I never know when I'm going to wake up. I never know what I'm going to do the
Uh-huh.
next day. Now, yes, I have a company for sure. Tomorrow, I'm going to go on looking for money for the
Uh-huh.
company. But as we were talking, I came to the Pyrenees to build a rural hotel, and I
Mm-hmm.
have finished creating an AGI software company. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of different pathways that we are going to find
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
we give the opportunity to life to show you
Totally.
that kind of
You never know, right? And I think it's a good point because nowadays, the less resistance to change we had, the better, I think, because we will have to reinvent ourselves once again and again and again. Especially now with the AI, right? That is going to change
yeah.
the whole business game and the whole life game, potentially. Now, thank you so much. It's very interesting, Mario, your life so far. So, I wanted to ask you. Now, you are the CEO of the MindKind, right?
Right.
I wanted to understand better what you guys really do, and what is your why as well. Why are you? Did you create this company, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. As I told you first, I came to live to the Pyrenees in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
My idea was creating a rural hotel and bring people to the nature
Mm-hmm.
to teach them how to manage all those life challenges we have to face. But
Mm-hmm.
economic crisis started in 2007-8, and as I had earned some money with my first company, a software company that I sold in 2003, I decided to spend some time trying to understand and to explain, scientifically explain, um, what kind of system, talking about
Mm-hmm.
the neural system,
Mm-hmm.
has produced the experiences I had had. So I started to make basic research in neuroscience.
Uh-huh.
The idea was using that scientific research for trying to find solid foundations for the training contents I wanted
Sure.
to
Sure. Sure.
teach people.
Okay.
But after almost 15 years trying to organize training courses and um, in 2019, I published some part of my research. The
Uh-huh.
first paper is called Emotional Theory of Rationality. And
Okay.
that first paper is an evolutionary approach to explain the existence of and the reason for the existence of emotions,
Mm-hmm.
how, why, and how they work, and how they connect with another functional elements of human brain like attention and cognition,
Mm-hmm.
And that approach to the human brain um, just coincides in time with some interesting advances in the field of artificial intelligence. In 2019, there were some advanced works in generative adversarial network, deep neural networks, and some technical elements have been already developed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided that although all my research could be used for trying to improve the field of artificial intelligence,
Uh-huh.
just um, just filling the gap between narrow AI, that is the artificial intelligence we have today,
Mm-hmm.
and artificial general intelligence, that is some machines that are able to learn, to reason, to take decisions, and to behave as humans do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason for me to change that goal into again into the computer science, and in this case artificial general intelligence.
All right. All right. Very cool. And what is your why? Why you is doing that? Like, what is your purpose, or what is your final cause?
Well, I have my personal goals that they are still are trying to teach people how to face life challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe technology can teach us some new approaches for trying to better understand how human beings behave. How
Mm-hmm.
do we think? Why do we think the way we do? And how we can improve some tools to improve the way we relate
Uh-huh.
with ourselves, with the others, and also with technology. Technology can be a very good way for trying to learn more about ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. And now the company is very focused on on taking the neuroscience research. We are also applying a psychological approach upon that neuroscience level.
Mm-hmm.
And upon them, we are developing technology that is
Wow.
a cognitive architecture that we call ETR, that eventually would be capable to bring machines to life. It's a way to say it. Okay,
It's
at
crazy,
that
you
time,
know.
everybody thinks in Terminator. Yes.
It's crazy, because I have a study as well, and I'm an emotional coach, so I know that every time we do something, although some in the past they thought we use only 10% of the brain, it's actually many parts of the brain lights up, right? Depending on the situation.
Yeah.
So I think, from my point of view, and I don't know how you guys are doing it or how you are making it. Like, there are billions of neurons there connecting, right? And
Right.
so I was wondering, like, how how can you do that? How can you make, okay, I'm getting my hand, or I'm feeling fear,
Yeah.
and this is spotting in different parts of the brain. How can you
Well,
make that? I'm
it's
curious.
interesting. It's interesting because nature have found the way to biologically resolve the challenges a human being has to solve. We are using technology for trying to supply, not supply, but to
Provide.
I don't know the word,
Mm.
to substitute.
Substitute, yeah.
Well, we are
To
using the
replace.
technology. For example, we have biological memory, and we also have electronic memory.
Uh-huh.
So functionally, they are trying to do the same. They are storing knowledge, because
Mm.
that knowledge is interesting for you to not
Mm.
to have to resolve the same problem um, once and again and again.
For
So
the
if
first
you are
time,
able
yeah.
to
Hmm.
memorize how you have previously solved a challenge, you are going to save some time. For sure, you are going to become more effective, and so because
Hmm.
you're able to get more precise responses to solve
Hmm.
that problem. So
Sure.
in that sense, functionally, we are using electronic. but biology is using neurons. So we are not trying to replicate the structure of the brain with the connections, synapses, and neurotransmitters.
Yes.
We are trying to replicate the function. So the function is important. You are going to survive if you are able to deploy the right answer in the right time. So we are working that. There are some projects all over the world that are trying to follow that pathway to the human brain.
I
That is
see.
replicating every connection, every neuron, every synapse, every neurotransmitter, and so. And they are working in that pathway. For sure, they are going to find very interesting
Okay,
advances.
but your self is more about the function, about the behavior of the result, the
Right.
end result. That there are two
Yes.
ways to get to the end result: the human way and the more intelligent or faster or effective way,
Yes.
maybe.
I always use an example is, for sure you have ever seen a plane flying, but the planes don't move the wings, but they are
Yeah.
flying. We have captured the function, not the way.
Very cool example. I love it. Yeah, that's very nice example. Actually, plane and fly. Yeah, they move the move. Cool. I don't know if you have read this book from Yuval Nora. I think it's called Homo Deus. I don't know if you're familiarized with this book. No.
No, I have not read it.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm curious, because he was talking something very similar to what you just shared, Mario. It's like we work like algorithms, yeah. So
Right.
everything that happens, our system, who has memorized everything, is already know what to do in different situations and different moments or in our
Yeah.
environment, right? So it was like an algorithm. So everything happens, and then it boosts the blood flow, and then gives the energy, and then it activates our immune system.
Yep.
So he was saying as well that if we manage to do what you just said, right, maybe the part of our consciousness, right, because all that is unconscious, right, everything that works automatically and primitively or from an evolution point of view,
Yeah.
he was saying that consciousness may be not needed, okay, because that's the one that is the self-talk, the self-doubt, and we are not
Yes.
sure, that's what is actually limiting most people potential, right? So
Yes.
I was thinking, if we invent something that powerful, where are humans going to be, right? Because what is going to be our role, right? Because I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
something I was thinking about. What is your opinion, Mario?
Well, it's important. It's important to state something clear. We are
Mhm.
not going to develop artificial consciousness. We are
No.
going. We are developing artificial pseudo consciousness. In
Hmm.
that sense, I'm going to explain. Um, if we are successful in our research, we are going to find systems to create systems that are going to be able to generate some informational contents.
Okay.
That contents are very similar to what we could call consciousness, but they are not going to be conscious about that contents.
Hmm.
They are going to process that information, and it's going to be very similar to consciousness, but they are not going to be conscious. Okay, so it's what we call pseudo-conscious. So the contents are going to be very similar because we are going to manage the information and the incoming information to produce that subjective experiences in the machine, but they are not going to be conscious in the way we are as living beings. So
Hmm.
that's very important to state that clearly.
Hmm.
And said that, we don't understand what is consciousness. We don't know what exactly it serves for. We don't know where it is placed in the brain. We have identified some places in the brain that looks like they are responsible to produce the conscious experience. But I think we are very far. In that sense, I always use another example. There is a interesting phenomenon that is called blind sight. That there is some people that have damaged the primary visual part of the brain. They are not able to see consciously. They are not able to see anything. But when they are front with some challenges, for example, they have to avoid some obstacles in the pathway, unconsciously, because they are not able to see anything, they are able to avoid those obstacles.
I read about it.
His brain is seeing in some way, we don't understand how, and is solving the problems. But he cannot explain why he's moving that way. Because he is not conscious about the movement. His brain is taking decisions without consciousness, and so it's very interesting, that phenomenon.
It's very interesting, definitely. I was wondering, because this Yuval Noah Harari is the author of the Homo Deus, Homo Sapiens as well. He was saying that there was already some technology. I haven't checked the reference or anything, but I believe it's true. That there were some military people that they were put a helmet here, all right, with some neurotransmitter or something that connects with the brain, in order to make them so focused like a sniper, all right, so they can have more precise targets and shoots. And without the helmet, all right, from 20 they had like 10, 15. With the helmet it was like 20, boom. And they were in this stage of flow, right, like we discussed before. They were completely focused, and they have no inner tone, this consciousness that could be mentioned or described in this sense. It was nothing. That's why he was saying maybe the consciousness is actually not needed for AI or for anything like that, because we can be better performance, or we can execute any task much more effectively, if we don't have this self-doubt or this self-talk. So that's why I was thinking.
As we don't know exactly what consciousness is, we have to go on exploring everything we have in our table to explore. We have some experiments, we have some ideas. For example, I have heard some time that maybe consciousness is the best way universe has found to maximize entropy production. It's another
maximize
theory.
What?
Entropy production.
Entropy production, really? Okay, that's cool.
I have read different theories about why consciousness just exists, and maybe our machines sometimes are going to solve some kind of consciousness. I don't know, because
the secret of the
maybe
universe.
Consciousness is an emergent phenomena that is based on very simple elements interacting in a very complex ways. So for some in some way, maybe it's going to produce some kind of consciousness. I don't know. I cannot know in advance.
Sure.
But if we are able to understand how simple elements in the brain are able to produce the complex behaviors we observe, maybe we are going to find new pathways to go on.
That's really cool. I could talk with you like for hours, because I love this topic and you know so much. I wanted to, because we have a couple of minutes left, Mario, what are your main lessons learned that people, startups and entrepreneurs, everybody could really benefit from your research so far, about productivity, about happiness, about whatever you want to share that are based on the human mind?
Yeah. Okay. The conclusion of our work about emotions is that emotions are a functional element. When I talk about emotions, I have to make some precision. We are not talking about the happiness you feel, but the lowest level functional element that later becomes a sentiment, a
feeling. Yeah, sensations.
Yes.
Body sensations.
Emotions are the functional element to optimize brain functioning, and the feelings are the conscious experience of an emotion. Okay, so we are working with emotions in a functional way. We define them as a mathematical element that evolution has found to be capable to solve complex challenges with a very few resources in a very efficient way. So emotions is the functional element that led the human brain to reduce complexity, manage that reduced complexity, and generate new complex behaviors and complex responses. So emotions are that important functional element. So if you want, and your I don't know the word.
Yes.
Your public want
Yes,
you
audience.
to improve their knowledge about themselves. Maybe understanding better why do we have emotions, how does emotions work, how they produce all the complex thinking we have every day, and all that kind of phenomena are well founded in my research. And that's the reason for we to be able to program that kind of phenomena. We are programming. If we don't understand it very well, we cannot program that
Totally.
kind of
That's why I do what I do, Mario. Thank you for that. Yeah, it is important, because if we are not aware, we cannot even understand or behave in a better way, because there is
yeah.
two sides, right? We can use them to a to work against us, right? Against our really objectives and goals that we really want unconsciously,
Yeah.
or we can make the most and work, make the subconscious and unconscious to work for us instead by creating
Yeah.
habits or behaviors. Very good, Mario. I love it. Thank you so much. We went a bit delayed, but I just love the interview. I don't know if there is any few words you want to say before we finish, Mario. Anything that we may have not covered?
No, I just want to thank you the proposal to spend some time with you talking about these interesting things we share. And for sure, we could be talking for hours.
For sure. Thank you so much. It was my absolute pleasure. Thank you to you, Mario.
You're
I'm
welcome.
going to
Thanks a
turn
lot.
off. Okay.
Thanks
See
a
you.
lot.
Talk to you soon. Ciao, ciao.